Main man, made man, back at it. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had just got finished watching that The Gloves Are Off uh, episode, the one that's featuring Charles Martin, Joshua. Now, I've been looking at a few uploaders and talk about it or whatnot, see what the reaction would be like. And a lot of people was basically saying, especially a lot of UK fans, are saying that they thought it was very boring. They thought it was not entertaining as much as past fights, especially compared to Anthony Joshua's last fight with Dylan White, in which the gloves are off episode off the charts. Now, the thing is that people got to understand the history that them two had, the bad blood that was there. I did a video specifically about that fight, stating that it was extreme bad blood between Dylan White and Anthony Joshua, and gave the whole history of such. But there is no bad blood nor bad history between Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin. Now, Anthony Joshua seemed like the happy guy, seemed the more played the role in the particular broadcast as the more happy, relaxed guy who's in total control. But he's happy every day. That's what I got from Anthony Joshua. You know, he's happy to be in the position that he's in. He's looking forward to the fight. He is all smiles. There is nothing that Charles Martin can do or say that would take that smile off of Anthony Joshua's face. And that's what I got from Anthony Joshua. He was showing Charles Martin, I'm not rattled in any sort of way. I'm smiling. I'm enjoying my day. I had a wonderful breakfast. I'm going to training afterwards. I'm going to have a good time. And I am in total control. That's what I got from Anthony Joshua. On Charles Martin's side, I got an emotionally filled guy who doesn't know what to expect. That's what I got from Charles Martin. He's filled with so much emotion because it's finally, I think, really dawning and setting in on him that, hey, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. He had to repeat this several times throughout the broadcast to kind of seem like he was getting the point to himself. I remember one time when the host even mentioned it. You know, he just kept rattling on and on and on about it, how he was the heavyweight champion of the world, and it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. It's staying right here. I got an emotion when he started to tell about his bio, his background story. He started to get a little emotion, and he turned that emotion into determination and anger before the program ended. And that's pretty much what I got from this side of Charles Martin. Now, the thing is, I think both of these fighters, beyond the cameras, beyond the ropes, beyond the gloves, actually have respect for one another. Given that Anthony Joshua, honestly, at this point, can't say he's seen a lot about Charles Martin, nor have heard a lot about Charles Martin. But Anthony Joshua will have to be going to this fight, relatively not knowing what his opponent is going to bring to the ring. Now, we all know that Charles Martin won his world heavyweight title from Glaskov, whom actually, fucked his ankle up and basically had to stop the fight. And they gave the title to Charles Martin. So even in that title win, you only got 1-2 rounds to really study, you know what I'm saying, on Charles Martin before anything. So he's, and then in his previous fights, there ain't many of them online, a handful of them, maybe 2 or maybe 3. And, they're short fights. They're not long fights. They're against lower level opposition. So it's kind of hard for Anthony Joshua to come out with an arrogant streak, if you will, when he's not knowing what he's pretty much facing. And the same thing goes pretty much for Charles Martin. Charles Martin I don't even know if he expected to be here. But the fact still remains that he's here now and he is determined to stay here. I love what he is doing. And this has a lot of people believing that, maybe Charles Martin is getting paid off or something's going on because he did not have to take this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Let us not forget that. He did not have to take this fight. This is a voluntary defense for Charles Martin, and he decided to go over the pond, get the bag of money, and fight Anthony Joshua in his own backyard. So hats off to him for that. But the thing is, the number one thing for me that stood out about this program, the number one moment wasn't that tense feel moment, and I really appreciate it. A lot of people said it was dull, but I think it was between these two fighters. But the thing that really stuck out to me was at the very, very end of the program. That is the part that stuck out to me the most. When the two fighters got up out of their chairs and they had to come face to face and face off one good time. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the part. Because if you go back to that part, when they got up out of the chairs, Charles Martin made a comment of size don't matter. It seems as if he didn't really get a chance to really size up Anthony Joshua because all the cameras were around. And he wanted to look so determined and look into the eyes of Joshua and see if he see the fear, have the eye of the tiger. He had to do that in front of all the cameras. But in this particular setting, I think he finally, really, honestly had a good chance to size up Anthony Joshua. And you see the reaction of Charles Martin. He says, no one even asked Charles Martin, by the way. No one put it out there. No one said anything about size, anything. And he says, get out of the chair, and he says, size don't matter. And quickly, Anthony Joshua says, yes, it does. And you see them two face off, and Anthony Joshua looks humongous compared to Charles Martin. And I'm talking about in body mass. Huge. He's already taller than Charles Martin, but now he makes Charles Martin damn, when you put them face to face, even though Martin is a big boy, ladies and gentlemen, Joshua just makes him look small. And I don't know if that's going to play into the mind games of Charles Martin, because I find it funny how this dude had the face of steel and determination that whole program, man. And then when he gets to the end, he seemed a little rattled by the size of Anthony Joshua. Just go back and look at that moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just go back and look at it. The moment that they get out of the chairs, that's all you need. You know, in face-offs, when two fighters face off, they look for cracks in each other's, expressions. Who's going to be the first guy to break eye contact, if you will? You know what I mean? And it's little things that honestly tell a big story. And when they got out of that chair and Charles Martin referred to Joshua's size, when no one asked him, no one brought it up, no one mentioned it, I found that to tell a big story. A big story. Then when you see recent interviews of Charles Martin, he's looking very, very slim, ladies and gentlemen. He's looking very slim, slim as I've seen him in the past. I mean, honestly, I never thought speed was a thing for Charles Martin. Maybe he wants to surprise Anthony Joshua. Maybe Anthony Joshua is expecting a much slower version of Charles Martin as the little bit that he has seen on Charles Martin. And maybe Martin is looking to be slim and trim in this fight and have a little speed. I'm just saying he just looks small, man. I don't know, you just can't get hand speed overnight. I'm fully aware of that. But I'm thinking that Martin is either building himself to go the distance or for more speed, because he is looking very slim and very in shape, by the way. So I got to give props to Charles Martin for that, at least for being in shape. I hope this, works for his game plan, if this part of his game plan is to slim down so much. But I just thought that was very interesting. But all in all, man, I really enjoyed the program. I enjoyed all of the tension that was in the air. It wasn't, a bunch of one-liners tossed back and forth to one another. It wasn't a bunch of, acting for the cameras and hyping up the fight. I will admit that. But it was extreme tension there. And this is a heavyweight title fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be good. Very good. Until the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Google Plus, Main Man Made Man. I'm telling y'all, man, just go back to that moment when they got out of the chairs, dude. I mean, hey, man, I don't really know much to what to expect out of this fight. My prediction video gonna be tough to make it through. I'm gonna be 100 with you, because I'm definitely doing a prediction video on this fight. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that little crack in the end of that program tells a lot, and it will play into my prediction. Until the next video, don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.